So hello guys, welcome back to my channel, and as you can see right now, all hell's about to break loose. I have to be quicker with this. But so what we have here finally on my channel is the 2022 Mitsubishi Strada Athlete 4x4. Yes, I finally got the 4x4 on my channel, having driven the GLS 4x2 automatic and the Strada Super Shogun few months ago. Link of those will be in the description down below. Being the Athlete model, as you can see, this is more like it. Yes, it's gloss black, but it's no longer that chrome you get in the 4x2 models. And like the Super Shogun, you have black wheels as well here. There's a lot of gloss black with this Strada Athlete, but I don't mind it at all. It suits the car really well. And of course, being the Athlete, you have decals here on the side. Hit or miss for me. If you want to remove the decals, you won't be voided with warranty whatsoever, so it is fine. So yeah, it's basically like your Strada, same ground clearance, same wading depth, same load capacity in the rear. Despite being a 4x4, it's still the same. Towing capacity as well is exactly the same. You have a gloss black sports bar as well now in the rear. So yeah, hell's breaking loose. Let's show you the interior. Well, this is a bummer. It was so sunny earlier this morning until lunchtime. Now it's raining. Anyway, that's also kind of like the character of this Mitsubishi Strada Athlete, because you can take it anywhere. So there's one thing I actually didn't do with both two-wheel drive Stradas, is actually take them off-road. I've been looking for this secret off-roading place of Soju. I kind of found it. It's just in the freaking back of Ottawa, where Ford employees park their cars, and some Ford cars as well. So I took it there, but I put in four-wheel drive mode and went through over these rocks, potholes, puddles, and everything. This went through it easily. But to be fair, with the two-wheel drive styles, they can handle off-road easily. But for heavy off-road, of course, this will take the gate. And also, being the Strada 4x4 Athlete, you have also the drive mode selector. So surprisingly, what I've been expecting with the two-wheel drive Strada, of course, being the 4x4 now, I was expecting that steering wheel to get heavier. Not as much as you think. So this is like the complete opposite of the MU-X's. Review coming soon, by the way. So from this Strada 4x2, now being the 4x4, the steering wheel weight is not as heavier as you think, if that makes sense, because I noticed just a tad bit more weight than usual than being from the 4x2 model. Nevertheless, the weight of the steering wheel is still light. Shout out to James. He'll be with me again tomorrow for another special Mitsubishi episode-ish. Of course, I keep saying with my two-wheel drive Strada reviews, the seats. I love these seats. The Athlete, the orange with the black, perfect. The leather is more on the durable side, like the Expander Cross, but for some reason this is way softer and way more comfortable than the Expander Cross. And also you have the Athlete logo here as well. And then surprisingly, here in the center console, just in the gear lever, yes, the silver tin and the gloss black again. But unlike the GLS dual drive models, there is orange leather soft pads now for your knee. And here in the door card, yes, it's still plastic, but unlike the GLS, this part is no longer fabric, it is leather with orange stitching. There's a lot of orange stitching here with this Athlete, even in the steering wheel. This one's leather as well, compared to the polyurethane of the GLS models. And then on top of the dashboard, still plastic to say the least. Still love the paddle shifters, by the way. Surprised you can still get them in the 4x2. And finally, I got my answer. There's so many blank buttons in the GLS two-wheel drive model. Now in here in the 4x4, there are three less. You have one for your rear cross traffic alert. That really helped a lot. Of course, pickups are really intimidating, and they feel very big to drive. This rear cross traffic alert is very handy, because the blind spot, yes, is kind of big with the CP, as you can see there. When I'm merging to another lane, it does beep to me a lot, so that's very handy. You still have rear parking sensors. The reverse camera quality is still the same, but it's still good to have. Being the 4x4 Athlete now, this has front parking sensors. That is really handy. Of course, the visibility out front, yes, you're sitting in a pickup truck, it's quite high. So I don't know the distance sometimes from the wall and the hood of the car. Good to know the parking sensors are there. I do notice though, forwards and backwards, the parking sensors, they're a little bit sensitive. At this car park, it was already beeping at me like crazy when I was reversing, but there's still quite a gap. So take note of that. You can turn them off if you want. That's just beside the rear cross traffic alert button, 3 blank buttons here, and you have your ion button here. So it's kind of like an air moisture filter thing. So same layout here with the center console, the infotainment, no Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, but you still have the Bluetooth mirror link. And then there's a cubby space down below. You have one USB port, one aux cord, one 12-volt socket. I don't have the cover with me. Anyway, and as I said earlier, you have your drive mode select button here. Below that, you have your hill descent control, and then you have your gravel setting. I don't know what this button is. You have your manual handbrake here. Also, even that is wrapped in leather with orange stitching around it. That's a lovely touch. And then you have 2 cup holders here, one for your ashtray. This did not exist in the GLS 2-wheel drive models. Take note of that. But good to know, my water jug still fits in every cup holder here. And then center console box, even this is leather, orange. I love it. Still the same size. Oh, there it is. For the 12-volt socket. Put you back there. Your standard, as you can hear, NVH is excellent. And driving it, also same issue like the 2-wheel drive models and the Nissan Navara. You can hear the engine a lot. But the insulation for this, the engine is way better than the Navara. And then above here, still the same layout. 2 lights here. Should have left that on. Keep forgetting. Sunglasses holder. Visor. You have a ticket clip here only for the driver's side, but on the right side, you have a vanity mirror, at least. And then they don't extend, of course. Yep, like before. So here in the back now of the Mitsubishi Strada Athlete, still the same like the 2-wheel drive, but there are a few more additions here and there, like 2 more seat pockets, and then you have 2 USB ports now here with a cubby space. It fits my phone. And then sitting here in the middle where I am right now, the transmission tunnel is tall, but it won't be necessary to put your feet on top of it because it is that narrow. You just can put your feet just beside them. And sitting here in the middle, of course, like every other Strada, it has the signature J line, so the seats are more reclined than usual, so there's no adjusting for this, by the way. Sitting here in the middle is okay for me. The central armrest might be a bit too stiff here though. However, if you go here in the side, knee room, feet room is excellent. That's my driving position, by the way. And then headroom, still good. Just a little bit eaten up here in the middle. And also, unlike the 2-wheel drive variants, you have 2 air conditioning vents here. You can open them at the front right there, just in between the lights, which is a very weird layout, but at least there still is. They look kind of similar though to a Toyota Avanza and the Veloz, but unlike those, this one is an actual air conditioning vent, but this one where it directs the air looks really similar, and there are 2 pieces of them. It's not like one whole piece, so there's a lot of flexibility within the aircon. And then the controls, which also I like, is not here in the middle, it's also up here where your lights are. I also did notice, since there's aircon here now in the back, the aircon is way colder than usual, of course because of these 2. And then here in the doors, somewhat the same. You have 2 cup holders on either side. My water jug also fits. Same in front, I forgot to mention as well. And then here, there's gloss black on all the window switches. And then the soft pad here now is not fabric, it's the leather with the orange stitching now. And then here, center armrest, it is also leather, and it's quite hard to open. I mean, you have to put your hand all the way inside. And then my water jug won't fit down here in the middle, sadly. So you still have the hidden storage here behind the seats, very handy in case you want to surprise someone. And yeah, that's probably here in the rear of the Mitsubishi Strada Athlete. And also, I did notice now something with the sports bar. It can act like as a shade if someone's there in the back. It won't do much on heavy rains like this, but for light rain, it will keep your head shaded, to say the least. So this is the engine of the Mitsubishi Strada. Like all Stradas, this is powered by a 2.4-liter turbocharged diesel engine that produces 170 horsepower and 430 Newton meters of torque, and is mated to a 6-speed automatic transmission. And being the Athlete, this is now a 4-wheel drive system, so I cannot wait to show you guys how this runs. And there are some things that I do take note from the 4x2 and this 4x4 as well. Being the Athlete, those are your sensors for the rear cross traffic alert and the forward collision alert thingy. Okay, found the proper technique now with the swivel wheel. Okay, you can push it there easily. Right, this is what I meant. It won't go back like that. That's why it says there push. Now you can put it back. 2-4 high and two-wheel drive mode easy. And then here's your multi-information display. Contour it here on the bottom right of the steering wheel. A lot of info, of course, but of course, being now the lower this down. So being now the 4x4 model, you can see what drive mode you are in. So I'll put it to 4-wheel drive mode, the normal one, and then there's locking the front diff only, and then full lock the center diff. That's actually cool. I'm not sure if you can hear that in the camera. When I turn the swivel wheel, you can actually hear the mechanism somewhere here below on the left side. There. You can hear it engaging and disengaging. And then glove box pretty decent as well. And also this is how I film my car reviews if I'm by myself. I need this Gorilla Pod here, by the way. Then here's steering wheel on the left side for your infotainment, volume adjustments. And then here on the right side for your cruise control. I've yet to try this actually, but of course I'm just here in BGC, I won't be able to use it. And then, as I said, bottom right controls your multi-information display here in the middle of the tachometer and speedometer. And of course, the right side is blank. But at least they didn't try to put buttons on anything. Though blank buttons just here on top. There's one thing I never demoed in any car review, but I want to try it now. So I have an Android phone. I'm using a Vivo Y11. Let's try the Easy Link here. Then press that. Okay, it will detect either your Android or Apple, as you can see there. Oh, yeah, there. Android USB. I want to see what this is. I've never ever tried Android Auto at all. I mean, Android like this. Oh, so you have to connect that. Okay, it told me something here in my phone. It's trying to connect. Oh, so it's letting me download an app from Google Store Services. So you have to download this app first before I even connect here. Anyway, at least you can see, guys, it does the job. The car park kind of flooded up. So let's try to off-road-ish. It's over here already. Yeah, driving the 4x4, I did notice, me and James and I, he also likes this car by the way. Okay, here in the car park, look. You can feel it's a bit jittery and bouncy. But for some reason, for my experience only by the way, I feel this 4x4 version of the Strada is just a tad stiffer than the two-wheel drive models. Of course, it has more weight. It's like 112 kilograms heavier than the two-wheel drive models. As I said earlier, the surprise for me is the steering didn't weigh up too much, being the 4x4 variant now. Yeah, I just noticed the suspension is somewhat the same tune, but since it's a heavier car now, you do feel the suspension just a little bit stiffer because of course it's carrying a 4x4 drivetrain now. And over here, puddles, rocky roads, just here in the car park, it soaks them up with this. Yeah, you feel the bumps here and there. It's like every other pickup truck. But what I like with the Strada, even the two-wheel drive version by the way, they are very, very good pickup trucks. Like, I see why this is so popular here in the Philippines. And unlike, of course, the Ranger and the Navara will be way more comfortable pickup trucks. Let's not take that away. But this is right smack in the middle. It's more comfortable than a D-Max, more comfortable than a Hilux. Against the competition, yeah, it's just there, third place, right smack in the middle. I keep saying again, we owned two Stradas before, the GL 4x4 manual, the absolute base one, and a GLS Sport V 4x4 manual as well. I finally found pictures of them. Here it is. We had it in white. Comparing our old one and this one, the suspension is kind of better, to be honest. And over, as I said, here rocky patches, a lot of holes, potholes. You do feel the suspension just a tad jittery, but it's still no means an uncomfortable car. I mean, look. That is not too bad at all for what this is. Of course, this is a very, very capable off-roader now. Of course, as I said, it's of the 4-wheel drive model. I kind of reduct everything I say now with the GLS 2-wheel drive model because we are a typhoon-prone country and then it's slippery. You can just simply put this to 4-wheel drive and you will never be scared of what your rear tires spinning up. That's what I like with 4x4 models. Even though you don't use them most of the time, at least you won't regret if you need to go off-road. Because I know 4x2 heavy off-road might tend to struggle ever so slightly. So at least good to have 4x4 because it's always there when you need it. That thing, this though, it comes at a price. I don't memorize the price by the way. So of course, the GLS 2-wheel drive I keep driving, the automatic, is 1,368,000 pesos. And then for the Strada Athlete 4x4 automatic, it's 1,818,000 pesos. That's quite a lot. Almost 500,000 pesos difference between the 4x2 and 4x4. I still see the appeal though with the 4x2. If you're just here around the city, yes, you can get the 4x2. That's the better choice here. If you just live here in BGC, for example, the 4x2 will be a very, very good one. But if you tend to go, to the province, go off-roading, going to Rizal, I really want to go there one time, 4x4 is the way to go. And also, if this is gonna be a first pickup truck, I'm surprised that I will still recommend this 4x4 to first-time drivers because I forgot what pickup is that, but knowing the MUX is like a D-Max already, the 4x2 and 4x4 steering feel were way heavier than usual comparing with both models. This one, the 4x2 to the 4x4, as I said, you don't feel the weight that much. That is very impressive with the Strada. And maneuverability on parking lots, you might tend to struggle a little bit, but of course we own 2 Stradas before. You'll get used to it. It's not as bad as you think. And yeah, I do have a complaint with this 4x4. Like the 4x2, the turning circle is quite wide. Now this is the problem I have with this Athlete. The rear parking sensors doing its thing. Okay, shut you up for a while. Of course I love these seats, but you're gonna be a bit delicate now owning this. Of course, you don't want to make it dirty. That's the advantage of fabric seats. They'll be a bit harder to clean, but you can just sit wherever you like. But this being leather, you have to watch out for that.
Much later.
So here, gonna go out of the car park now. And like the 4x2, almost same driving dynamics. Apart from the steering wheel, as I said earlier. The brakes, still a high bite, very weird. Like, first step, nothing. And then next bite, full stop. But I found a secret to get through all of that. Use your left foot. Yep, you can left foot brake this Strada. I was able to drive a 2011-2012 Mitsubishi Montero. Shoutout Orbs, he's the one with me with the car spotting here in BGC. If you want to check that out, link of that will be in the description down below as well. You can literally left foot brake. I'm doing it. It's so easy to modulate if you're using your left foot. Also, like the 2-wheel drive, since they have paddle shifters, to activate manual mode, if you're just in D, you can just simply slide it and it's manual mode. But if you're just in D, here in the gear lever, to activate manual mode, you can press the minus paddle. And then if you wanna deactivate it again, just push this one on the up paddle for 2 or 3 seconds. Okay, so it's just a second or 2. I just tried it out. Also, being the 4x4, it's 100 each kilograms heavier, of course. My fuel economy wasn't far off from the 4x2 variant. I mean, of course, it's gonna be a bit thirstier, hence it's a 4x4, but it's still not too bad. I've been doing 5 to 7 kilometers per liter. I was just shy of the 8.8 kilometers per liter of the 4x2 Super Shogun, by the way. But you can get better numbers, of course, you're in the highway or if you're light-footed, unlike me. And then here, rough part of BGC, NVH is pretty good. Exactly the same. With 4x4 on in a slippery road, it is really stable. I love it. That's what the 4x2 cannot do. And of course, low end torque is pretty amazing. So that I didn't experience in the 4x2 since that had been there. The motorcycle just passed by. There's front parking sensors now with this. That's really handy as well, as I said. And quality here, fit and finish, a little bit better than the 4x2, just being honest. Of course, if you don't want the 4x4 Athlete of this, there's a 4x2 version of this, which is the one I picked though. If you have all the money, just get the 4x4. This is Strada Athlete 4x4. It's a really good pickup truck. I mean, I keep saying it in my every Strada review. It's still one of the best pickups for me. The front collision warning alert, you can actually set it from really close to middle and then from really far away. I never ever knew you can adjust something like that, so I just set it at middle because the far one is just a little bit too sensitive, just being honest. So that concludes my review of this 2022 Mitsubishi Strada Athlete 4x4. I want one so badly now. I don't want the 4x2s anymore. I want this 4x4. It just ticks all the boxes. And also, I would like to thank Sir Inigo and Auto Hub Group, Mitsubishi Auto Hub BGC for making this review possible. So, hope you guys like and subscribe, and I will see you with more future car reviews. Explore it. Bye-bye.